On a June morning in 1908, over an empty stretch of Siberian forest, the sky tore open. A column of fire brighter than the sun, a blast of heat felt from miles away, and a shockwave that flattened some 2,000 square kilometers of trees in an instant. It carried the force of a large nuclear weapon, decades before such a thing existed, and it left no crater at all. Hello and welcome to Vanished Hours. I'm Isla Hart. Tonight, the Tunguska event, the largest explosion of its kind in recorded history. It happened in one of the most remote places on Earth, was seen by almost no one, and was so hard to reach that science did not properly investigate it for nearly 20 years. And when they did, the mystery only deepened. The Tunguska region was, and is, a wilderness, endless forest, a scattering of Evenki herders, a lonely trading post or two. On the morning of the 30th of June, 1908, it was an ordinary day in an empty land. The nearest people to what was about to happen were tens of kilometers away. And then, those few witnesses saw something impossible. A second sun streaking across the sky, a flash of searing heat, and a sound like the sky being torn apart. High above the forest, several kilometers up, a cosmic object exploded. Not on the ground, but in the air. The blast slammed downward and outward, knocking down on the order of 80 million trees across 2,000 square kilometers, all of them pointing away from the center like spokes on a wheel. At the trading post, tens of kilometers from the center, a man was thrown from his chair and felt a wave of heat so strong he thought his shirt was on fire. Windows broke far away. The shockwave was recorded on instruments around the world. And yet, because the land was so empty, almost no one died. A catastrophe of this scale, in almost any other place, would have erased a city. You might expect the world to have rushed to investigate, but Russia in the years that followed was swallowed by war and revolution, and the site was almost impossibly remote. Year after year, no one went. The greatest explosion of the century sat untouched in the forest, waiting. It was not until 1927, nearly 20 years later, that a determined scientist named Leonid Kulik finally reached the area, expecting to find a giant crater and the remains of a meteorite. What Kulik found was stranger than a crater. Mile after mile of forest lay flattened, every trunk pointing away from a single point in the sky. He followed the fallen trees inward, toward the center of the blast. And there, at the very heart of it, he found something eerie, trees still standing, but stripped bare and burned, because the explosion had happened directly above them, blasting straight down. There was no crater. There was no great lump of meteorite to dig up. The land had been devastated by something that never actually touched the ground. That missing crater is the key to the whole event. The explanation scientists now accept is an airburst, a chunk of rock or ice from space, plunging into the atmosphere so fast that the heat and pressure made it explode in midair, kilometers above the surface. That releases enormous energy, somewhere in the range of several to perhaps a dozen or more megatons, while leaving no impact pit below. Hundreds of times the power of the first atomic bombs spent in the sky. Of course, the lack of a crater also invited wilder ideas, secret death rays, antimatter, a crashed spacecraft. They make better legends than science. The airburst explains everything we actually see on the ground. What makes Tunguska linger is not horror. Almost no one died. It is the scale and the luck. For a few minutes one morning, the sky delivered a blow that could have flattened any city on Earth, and it happened to land in one of the emptiest places there is. The forest has grown back. The event is understood, more or less. But it leaves a quiet, uncomfortable thought behind. It has happened before, with no warning at all, and the sky is very, very large. Thank you for spending this time with me. History never really leaves us, it just waits to be remembered. I'm Isla Hart, and I'll see you in the next one.